And then the next thing I notice is there's no click track in my ears. And we got so off. And it's just like, of course. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you know what, dude? Why doesn't all the lighting just fall on me and crush my like abnormally large body? That would be great. Welcome everyone to Saint Aubin Central. What a couple months it has been. I am excited to announce that I sold out my release show in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you. We did it, dude. It was so much work. Like, way too much work. I was super stoked that we were able to do it. The room was at White Rabbit in Indianapolis. The room feels really good when it's full. It was great. I was super grateful that like friends came out. And it's weird to find out you have fans when you're in that weird like friend-fan like relationship with most of your friends, and then you see people you don't know. So that was kind of cool. But I'm very proud of the work we did. It was so much work. I don't know if I do it again, which I could talk about that a little bit later. But very stoked. But the show went. So people experienced the show great. Behind the scenes, what a fucking shit show, dude. The week of the show was an absolute nightmare from a production and music perspective. We were supposed to practice on a Monday, the Monday before the show, and for some reason, our MIDI controller was not being recognized by the laptop that we used. And it took us an hour and a half to actually try to figure it out. We still couldn't figure it out. I just canceled practice. I was so frustrated. I canceled practice. Right when the drummer leaves, it started working. So it was like really annoying. And then that was like kind of the start of the week. And then Thursday we had a dress rehearsal for the show, because the show, it was more of like a conceptual show experience. I shot some short films. I had a poet there. I had a dancer there. And then I did like a little speech toast monologue thing at the end as well. So there was a lot of moving pieces, and we got together, and I kind of explained the show, and they seemed to receive it well, which was exciting. And then we ran through it, and I was feeling great. And then Saturday comes wrong. Sorry. Sometimes my Asian slips. Okay. English was not my first language. Okay. But the day of the show, we get there, everything's going good. But the lighting guy's laptop, again, the interface was not, they weren't connecting. So the whole light show that he planned, it couldn't work. We still had lights. It still looked good, but what he had planned didn't work. The second thing that happened was a friend of mine sewed together a big curtain. And we were going to drape it across the stage, and we were going to have big shadow effects for the opening of the show, because we did like a big instrumental, and there was gonna be like shadow effects, and then right when like the drop hit, the curtain was gonna come down, and I was so stoked for it. The poles that we had set up for it, the tension was too much, and they were like bending, so we had to completely scrap that idea. And then last was the video. We had 3 contingencies planned if the video didn't work. The venue had a screen and projector. We brought a big screen just in case. And then the third one was I brought a smaller screen and another projector. All 3 of those didn't work. The venue's screen is way too close to the stage, so we couldn't keep it down. The screen that we brought could not hook up to the truss in the back. And then the HDMI cord that we had was not long enough to go from sound booth to stage. So we had to put the videos like in this awkward corner of the show. It looked like dog shit, dude.
Oh, no.
And I don't think anybody noticed it until the video actually played. I was like, so at that point, I was just like, dude, whatever, what the fuck ever, dude. I don't care. I just want to get this over with. Like, it's like all joy was removed from the show because every single thing prior to us playing didn't work. And then people started coming, and I'm like walking around, and I met a friend, and like, dude, no one cares. Like, man, we're excited. Like, all your friends are here. I'm like, yeah, you're right. And then I'm starting to feel better, and I start like working the crowd, like meeting some people, and I'm yelling because it's loud. 5 minutes into it, my voice is like gone.
Oh no.
And I'm not a good singer because I don't take care of my voice. Like before the show, I ate a bunch of chimichangas and soda, just getting ready to play.
What a warm up, yeah.
What a warm up. I treat my voice like absolute
a true
dog
temple
shit.
of the Lord, yeah.
Absolutely, dude. And I stop and I just go backstage and I'm chugging throat coat. I had like 3 glasses of throat coat. I even like took the bag and I was just like, the tea bag.
Nice.
But so my voice, and I'm just like, okay, just chill. You can get through it. It's fine. And then I kid you not, right before we go on stage, and I felt bad too.
You shit your pants.
Well, I shit my pants, and it just seeped through everything, and it smelled like a dead gazelle spoiling in the African desert. No, right before we go on stage, I like set everything up, and we're about to go on stage. The laptop just crapped out, and my tracks are all on Ableton.
Oh, no.
So we had to push the show back 30 minutes because we couldn't get it to turn back on because it's an older laptop. It's an older laptop. And I guess you haven't even heard.
I was peeking from the blinds outside.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in.
Did you try to get in?
I walked by and you already started and I was like, I'm
okay.
never going to, but
Yeah.
I was peeking through the blinds when I was out there.
No, but yeah. So the laptop died right before we were going on stage, and it pushed the whole show back 30 minutes. It's an older laptop, so it took a little bit longer for it to charge, and it was just, I felt so bad, dude, because my dad, who is fat and happy, but like 60 something years old, came to the front of the stage. He was gonna watch his boy play a show, and then I shit the bed because the laptop didn't work, and I started 30 minutes late. So we finally got it working, and like, even friends were like texting me. They're like, "Hey, you coming on?" And I'm just like, "Oh, geez." And then Tad comes backstage, and he's just kind of joking around, and I'm just like, "Yeah, the laptop." And he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." And then my wife comes backstage, and she's just like, "Hey,
What's
are
going
you?"
on?
And I'm just like, "Geez, dude, that's all I need." But then we finally start it, and then
what time are you supposed to start? 9?
we're supposed to go on at like 9:30ish.
Okay.
We went on, I think, a little after 10. The first song we do, it's like an intro song, and it's just instruments. There's no tracks. And we play it, and it's fine. And then we start, and the song's losing control. We go right into it. My in-ears are so jacked up. I don't know what happened from the laptop dying. Something must have like switched. All I could hear was bass guitar.
No.
That's all I could hear. And then we start playing, and then the next thing I notice is there's no click track in my ears, and we got so off. And it's just like, of course. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you know what, dude? Why doesn't all the lighting just fall on me and crush my like abnormally large body? That would be great. So I look over to the utility player, and I'm like, hey, click track's not on. And like, he couldn't hear me, and I'm just like, do you not fucking hear that? No click. And he finally got it, turned the click on. We got back to it. And then probably by the 3rd or 4th song, we kind of hit a groove. But dude, it was just like, it's like everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Thankfully, and I even I made chord charts just in case the laptop and our inners just shit the bed, and I could just give it to them, and we're just like, we're playing old school 3-piece. Good luck, But I was super bummed because it took me out of being present.
I know that's the worst part of it. It just takes you out mentally.
I kind of I don't know if I showed it, but towards the end I kind of got into. I think after the first video, I was like, okay, we're fine. But the other challenge was I couldn't hear my vocals, and it was just bass guitar.
That
just
is the worst when you can't.
And I'm
hear
already
voice in ears.
I couldn't hear my vocals, and I'm already not a great singer. So it's like a double negative. I'm trying my best, and I'm like, what key are we in? It was so rough. But the good news is that people didn't really notice. The only thing they noticed is he went on kind of late. Yes, I did. But nobody really noticed it. People seem to be very receptive of the conceptual idea of the show, which I was excited for. But yeah, dude, it just kind of took me out of it. And I think after the show, we didn't even play an encore. I was just like, get me the fuck off the stage, dude. I didn't even want to mess with it,
Did you have one planned or?
Yeah, we have. So this is my encore philosophy. You should always prepare for one.
Yeah.
Don't expect one. There's nothing more gross than bands who don't play their hit song. Those needy little bitches, dude. Just play your songs, and then if you deserved it, we'll get you back here. But don't expect it to happen. Or sometimes they'll walk off stage for 7 seconds, and then they come right back on. I'm just like, oh my gosh,
see
how
right
insecure are
yeah.
you? But yeah, so I prepare for an encore, but we just didn't do it because I was like, I'm also just really out of shape and fat. So those songs take it out of me.
You're on oxygen.
Oh, dude, I need oxygen, and it's always lonely because and I hope I feel this way about the song for a long time. That song always gets me pumped, especially towards the end. It's just it just takes me there.
Oh yeah.
And I can't help but just throw down
that is
savage.
A Saint Aubin moment that
100%.
I always look forward to.
But then I can't do what I used to do because I'm so morbidly obese. I want to throw down, but my chubby little legs, chubby little legs can't handle it, And I got off stage, I almost threw up. But I need, maybe I need to do keto. I don't know, just some burpees. But yeah, dude, the show, I'm glad it happened. Very, very proud of my manager to sell it out because we sold it out without a local opener, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it was about 150 tickets that we moved. But this is basically how we sold it out. Did a bunch of videos, social media content. I partnered with a lot of local businesses and stuff like that. One sponsored the show so I could pay everybody well, and then I could keep the door.
Nice.
And then I did collaborative posts on social media with Tinker Coffee, Indie String Theory. That helped push the show a lot. I also put posters around town, which I used to think posters are pointless and stupid. Now I think it's more about a drip effect where you're posting a bunch online, you're putting posters around town, you're on an interview, people just need to see you everywhere. And then I think the biggest thing that I did that helped me move the tickets was I created a spreadsheet. And on the spreadsheet, I put 150 names on that. And over 2 days, I texted every single one of those people individually. 2 weeks later, I followed up with them. Well, actually, prior to that, I color coordinated after the first time I texted them. So if they responded or sounded interested, I gave them a green shade. If they looked busy, if they were busy or couldn't come, I put a red. If they didn't respond, I put a yellow by their name. And then 2 weeks later, I followed up with everybody. And then 2 weeks later after that, thankfully, we were low on tickets. I think we had less than 40, which was a great like segue into, yo, you said you're interested.
Yeah.
We have less than 40 tickets. The funny thing is that a lot of my friends thought I was lying, like as a marketing tactic. I can't do like I lie about a lot of things, but like certain things that I think you need integrity about, I can't lie about that. But I thought it was funny that they're like, because it's sold out, and one of my friends wanted tickets, and he was like, "Oh, dude, I thought you were lying about them being low." Like, no, dude, you know. But that spreadsheet, dude, that's the one thing I think that was the cheat code of the show. I mean, I probably moved like 60 plus tickets.
It's amazing just reaching out individually to people.
Yeah.
Kind of putting that on them to make a decision. Because there's plenty of people where you invite them and they'll go, "Oh, I'll think about it," and then they'll just forget about the show, period, because it's their only touch point. So that's smart to like do double touch points.
I think a lot of people don't do it because they feel like they're bugging people.
Yeah.
You might have been bugging people 10 years ago, but today people are so coked out of their mind with their own problems, with the internet telling them that the world is going to burn and their significant other. They have so much going on in their lives. A lot of people were glad that I texted them 3 times because, you know, you never know, dude. They could be at work or driving or something. They see your text like, "Oh, I'll get to it later." And then they're like, "Oh, Last of Us is on." And then they're like, "Watch that." Then 3 days go by and then, you know, another train derails and they're just like, "Oh my gosh." And then Trump's on Truth Social just, you know, being a good old boy. So I don't think we are annoying people as much as we think we are.
No.
But I don't know. But yeah, it seemed to work.
Yeah.
But dude, the last month of my life before the show, I was just mentally drained. I did way too much. And gratefully, I'm thankful I had a manager. She helped out with a good chunk of just kind of like organizational stuff. But really at the end of the day, it was up to me to put out content, to text people. And I think a lot of it too is my personality. I'm like an all or nothing. And I think all or nothing, there's some pros and cons, but like I was exhausted, which I think is why I started losing my voice. Like an hour before going on stage, I was like talking to the band and I was like, I could fall asleep right now, you know? And I should be like excited and jacked, you know, but I was so unbelievably tired. Oh, actually, another thing that I think is helpful if you want to sell out a venue, you have to pick the right venue. Most musicians, they're like, "Oh, we want the premier venue in town." You got to know your lane and stick to it.
Yeah.
I could have done the Hi-Fi, but the Hi-Fi is 400 tickets as opposed to White Rabbit. That's 150 tickets. I would way rather sell out a 150 ticket room than sell 200 tickets at the Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
A half full room just doesn't feel as good. But yeah, I think because I think I had some friends who are looking to, they're doing a release show at the Hi-Fi, and it's just like, and like in my brain, I'm just like, oh geez, that's so
a lot of work,
much work. I would have put I would have like ran into oncoming traffic if I had to sell 400 tickets, you know. But again, like other bands have different goals. Like I'm trying to have a musical career. But if you just want to play the Hi-Fi to play the Hi-Fi, totally play the Hi-Fi. But for me, it's like selling out just looks good. Like
you're trying to be more strategic.
It's more strategic. I'm trying to be more strategic, but it's also like words kind of spread through some like musical people. It's just like, yo,
I heard good feedback on it too.
Trevor sold the show out. That's crazy.
Talking to a couple strangers and that were at the show, and they were like, "It was great."
Yeah, no, it was a great show.
Didn't say anything bad.
I think it was cool too. It's like, I have like a weird love-hate relationship with this. Like, I hated that people couldn't get in. There were people turned away because I wanted people to experience it. But then also, that's kind of a cool thing. I'm like, dude, people got turned away at the door. That will probably never happen again, you know. But yeah, picking a right venue is just like so important.
Yeah.
It's like so unbelievably important. But I don't. So like as exciting as it was, and shitty as it was, of just like all the things going bad, I'm kind of glad all the stuff went bad because it showed that like, oh, I can perform under pressure and like my band can do it too. Because like they were just like, what the fuck is it? Was
I was
almost
gonna say, what was it like?
It was
Did they keep
almost
up?
supernatural, like how everything was going. Yeah, I think they kept up. Like it's interesting because it's in my band. It's funny. In some ways, I think my bandmates take Saint Aubin more seriously than I do. There's certain things that I do take, like songwriting, like putting out content. I take seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously. And like if shit hits the fan, shit hits the fan. What are you gonna do? Because like I think a lot of musicians, they look at their show, like a release show or a big opportunity. They're like, I can't waste this opportunity. But for me, if the show just fell apart, like my computer caught on fire, two of my bandmates died on stage, and it was I just yelled racial slurs at everybody in the crowd, and they hated it. Daddy wakes up the next day, puts his work shoes on, and he goes back to work. That's not the destination. Like I'm still going. It's a part of the journey. And I think musicians often too many times, they're just like, this is it, man. This is my big shot, my big opportunity.
I've seen that like from other shows, people having either a release show or just a bigger show at a certain venue, and they take it so seriously, it kind of ruins it. That's what I have appreciated is like from playing is like there's a certain game day, show day mentality of you where you put in the work before, but then that day of it's kind of like, you know what, we did everything we could.
Sure.
We can't, these are outside of control. So just kind of fuck it and just,
I think a lot of it too, it's like people, and this has always been my philosophy on shows, people remember how you made them feel. And people remember your, did they buy you playing? Like, did they believe that? As opposed to, nobody really remembers like, oh, he didn't sing that well, or he can't play guitar because he's got chubby sausage fingers. People are like, dude, that guy's really into what he's doing.
Yeah. Well, people can see tryhard's pretty easy too.
Yeah, you could like if any musician's wearing a hat on stage, especially one of those brim, and they're not Carlos Santana, they're a tryhard. Okay. Same thing with sunglasses. If you're not, the Situation from Jersey Shore, you shouldn't be wearing sunglasses on stage.
Sunglasses just indoors, period. Yeah. But especially if you're playing music is just another level.
Like dudes who wear sunglasses on stage, I'm like, you have a questionable past with women.
I'm pretty sure I saw Fozzy, which is Chris Jericho, the former wrestler. Mm-hmm. It's his band. They play at the outdoor annex. Like last year. Funny. And every person in the band was like complete douchebag. Like there's a sunglasses guy, there's like saggy beanie guy, halfway back his head.
I envy those people. That's insane.
It was a lot. But you could see this like when people are just trying to be cool. Yeah. I'd much rather have someone's like, if shit hits the fan, at least they're like staying under calm under the pressure, and like you can tell they just are loving the craft.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like now I feel prepared for if anything happens, we can go on. Like the show can still happen, even though it was kind of a bummer, But this is the interesting thing. I was very proud of the work that my team did, and I actually like made money, which was nice. I made I think $1,200. Yeah. And that's after. So I mean, I could break it down. Like the whole show grossed about $4,000. About 2,000 of those dollars paid the band, the sound guy, the light guy, the dancer, the poet, and then the opener. And then the rest of it was like I split. Eventbrite took some money. White Rabbit took some money, my manager took some money, and then I was able to take home like $1,200, which was nice. I'll take that. I think that's successful. I think that's another cheat code. If you have the connections in your city, get a sponsor for the show, because they can help you, one, keep tickets low, and two, you can pay all the workers like pretty.
Do you know how much they knocked off the ticket price, if any?
So technically, they didn't not like.
Oh.
They gave us $2,000.
Oh, nice.
They gave me $2,000.
Got it.
So that's when me and Nakosha were like, okay, $12 tickets. If they buy 4, they can get them 10 each.
Gotcha. I see.
Because I think ticket price, dude. Because I went to, and like, I went to see I won't say their name, because, you know. No, I won't say that. But I went to see a band locally, and they're kind of up and coming in indie, which is really exciting, and I'm a huge fan. And I'm a huge fan because their music's too cool. 2, like the city's kind of getting behind them, and it's exciting. I went to their show locally. Guess how much their tickets were?
I have no.
Just guess.
$50.
Okay, not that much.
Okay,
it was $30 for a local show.
Where was it at?
I don't want to say it.
Was it a local indie show, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
How big of a venue? Dang it.
It was.
Never mind.
I'll tell you after.
I'm so curious now.
But this is the thing. Like, I'm not talking shit about them. Like,
no, that's just a lot of money for a local show.
It is a lot of, like, so like half of me was like, yo, good for you. Get your money. And then the other half of me was like, $30 fucking dude. Who do you think you are?
I paid for $28 tickets at the Marat.
Yeah.
To see like a touring like US band.
Yeah. But I mean, they got paid, dude. I mean, I think there's probably like 500 people there, give or take. So they got 15K.
5,000 could have been a huge venue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was bigger. But yeah, dude, they got like, I think so, like I estimated about 15K. If there's 500 people. So like they got paid, I'm sure the venue took their cut. But I was just like, damn, dude, $30. That's a lot of guacamole.
I don't know where my cutoff is for local show prices, because sometimes I'm thinking, as long as it's like underneath 25, I don't care.
I think it's
but
like,
then there's sometimes where if it is 20 or 25, I'm like, man, this is a lot for like 15 people in here.
15 to 20 seems like a good benchmark.
Same.
And I think it depends on the show. If it's like a special show, I'll pay $20.
Yeah.
Like I got my buddies playing a release show. I paid 20 some bucks for a show. But if it's just like you're playing the Melody Inn, I'm not paying $20 fucking dollars.
No, no way.
And I don't think the Melody Inn would charge that much.
No. There was one venue I went to recently where they used to charge $5 and then they upped it to $10, and I was like, come on. I remember
back in the day, like playing the hi-fi. I think it was like, should we do $10 for a show?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because we normally like $7, but then Joe Byron and inflation. But yeah, so it is like, it was a huge success.
Yeah.
I do not think I would do it again. In the current capacity. This is the biggest problem with the show. First, I want to add the caveat. If you just want to play, by all means, do a release show. I think release shows are a thing of the past. That's what you did 10 years ago or something. But people don't really care as much about your album release or like whatever release. But the release show took away from the things that I think are more important to grow a career. Other than the show, I didn't post on social media. I just promoted the shit out of that. I haven't worked on songs in 2 months. And 3, we have not sat in this room together for 2 months. So all of these things like just stopped because I was trying to sell tickets to a show. And it was great. I'm grateful for the experience, but I think writing songs, releasing a song a month, releasing content, whether that's podcasts or social media, like you have to keep doing those things. And if anything derails you from those things, it's probably not a wise thing to do. And granted, it was a shorter term thing. I mean, it took 2 months of my year. But yeah, it was like I miss doing podcasts. Like this is one of the most fun things that I look forward to. I sit here and I say wild stuff, and then you just shake your head.
I'm not shaking my head right
now. But it was just like it just took away from so much, and I think a lot of momentum that I had is gonna slow down. So like I probably won't do quite a song a month this year. I'll probably release a song in 2 months from now, which is okay. It's not the end of the world, but it detracted from things that I just think are way more important. I think if you want to have a music career, you have to keep writing songs. You have to constantly put out content on social media and YouTube. And 3, I think you do need to play shows, because last year I was like anti-show. But I do think it is all a part of the bigger picture, just to play shows, just to show people like, yo, I'm still active, I'm doing things. And 2, it's like, I fucking love shows, dude. It's so much fun to play shows.
Yeah.
And I don't play nearly as much as I'd like to.
It makes it all worth it. I mean,
it does, dude.
It's such a rush, even if it's a small venue.
Yeah, yeah, dude. It was just like because I think prior to that I hadn't played since Flowbots in September, so that's like 6 months. And I was just like, man, I really miss shows. But yeah, so I probably wouldn't do it again. Yeah, if I did, and I probably will. That's the shitty thing. In my brain, I'm like, yeah, this isn't worth it. Because like this is the thing that I don't think most people want to hear. Like, it's too much work to text all my friends to come to my show. Nobody really cares about Saint Aubin. They care about Trevor, but they don't care about Saint Aubin. No. And if you want to do a big show or a release show, you have to have some shit popping before people are actually coming, So I probably brought 60% of the crowd just from texting all my friends. I probably wouldn't do another show until it's like 70% is just fans, and then 30% is friends. And when I say show, I mean like a headlining big release show. Like the plan now is just to get like opening slots, do some festivals, stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, dude. I changed my mind. I changed my mind about Nashville. I changed my mind about shows. It's because I'm learning, dude. And I'm not a bitch. I don't care. Like, if I'm wrong, who cares? I'll admit it.
I care, actually, if you're wrong.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, fact checker, dude. The misinformation department. But yeah, well, that's the recap of the show. My EP, Without My Queen, is out now. 6 songies on there. Go listen to it. Tickle that play button. Sounds funny. But yeah, I'm back. I'm back doing podcasts. I'm back in my chair. Woo. I'm back yelling at the world. I'm excited. Look out, Machine Gun Kelly. I'm coming for you with some new beats.
Jeez.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening.